Peace and power. We are back. We are here reading 41 Shades of Men by Princella the Queen Maker. And we are on chapter 4. So I'm just gonna put my little title up. This is I was feeling really down and this has really lifted me a little bit. It's kind of funny. And so I'm thinking it's gonna be a big long book. It's not, it is just describing the different types of men. And we are on chapter 4, which is the Destitute man. And once I type this in here, we're going to get it going. Now, due to contrary belief, this is a good book. I bet a lot of men think, she's being funny, but no, she's went to school and she has studied this stuff. And so we got to give credit where credit is due. Now, chapter 4 is called The Destitute Man. Property is not the sacred right. When a rich man becomes poor, it is a misfortune. It is not a moral evil. When a poor man becomes destitute, it is a moral evil, teeming with consequences and injurious to society and morality. Okay, so we're going to get into it. The above quote is infallible. Material wealth does not produce internal happiness, fulfillment, or wholeness. It has no bearings on the soul. If one loses external wealth, it's a bummer. In other words, he is what Raymond Reddington of the show Blacklist said, illiquid. His mind and internal value is still abundant. However, he is temporarily blocked from liquid currency to fund his endeavors. That's what black people would call broke. Broke is not a bad thing as it is temporary. A male who is broke is still level within. There are many homeless males who are broke yet joyful and content on the inside. Being broke does not create a moral evil or a negative energy that disrupts the fabric of life. However, when a poor man who is already broke without the necessities to properly sustain his existence and he has no soul connection, this is what creates the moral evil that is detrimental to life. He has lost the concept of what is right and what is wrong. Males are not the same as women. They do not have an internal moral compass. They have to be trained like dogs to behave morally. However, women do have a natural compass. This will be explained in greater detail later in the book. In the case of the destitute male, the moral evil we speak of is his tendency to recklessly impregnate multiple women. The destitute man has absolutely nothing going for himself. He has no value in his existence, and the only thing he can look toward to give himself some self esteem or importance is his ability to produce offspring. Males at the base of their biological nature are wired to compete to pass their genes along. It is the most important thing to the male. When a male has become destitute, he has failed at operating as a human in society and thus sinks to the lowest of his biological nature, which has no governor or control mechanisms. The male ego, self, identity is extremely weak, is in need of constant validation. And the male gets his validation from how much access he has to women. On my YouTube show, I analyzed a CBS special report in 1986, which covered the deterioration of the black family and welfare. The male Timothy being interviewed had 6 children whom he didn't care for or provide for. The interviewer asked him why he kept creating children if he couldn't take care of them. His reply was, well, the children are somewhat like artwork. If you don't have anything, at least you can say, I created this, and they may grow up to be a doctor or a lawyer, and I can say, that's my boy. I also have an episode that shows 16 males created 336 children. The first male of that episode created 22 by himself and told the news reporter, "The court knows I can't pay no child support. You can't blame a man for loving women. The Shaw family line will live long." And an African man found on TikTok recently posted a joke about how African documentaries look and sound. He titled it BBC Africa. In the reenactment skit, James is trying to take care of his 54 children. James expresses the interviewer, "I am poor, I have nothing apart from sperm." Always keep in mind that jokes are only funny due to the relatability and the truth that rests in its construction. The destitute male is the male who intentionally creates multiple children and single mothers to fulfill his ego needs. This is a moral corruption and dagger to society. How to determine if the male is destitute? First, you need to know the definition of destitute. Destitute is an adjective defined as without the basic necessities of life. Similar words: devoid, bereft, deprived, and bankrupt. A male who is morally bankrupt, devoid of spirit, bereft emotionally and mentally deprived, will behave in insidious ways that will bring himself, the woman, and the society down to the ground. How to determine if a male is destitute? He complains incessantly. He pushes too hard to present the nice guy appeal. Many times, not all the time, but many times, he can't look you in your eyes. He is unemployed or no stable employment, frequently changing jobs. He does not place much effort into his appearance. He has multiple children by multiple women. He does not have a place of his own. He has no purpose or vision for himself. He is validated by his male peers and always mentions his children and their mothers in any capacity. This is an ego booster for him, especially if he is speaking on her negatively. He lacks personal accountability. He is heavily focused on sex. He tries to convince you that he's not like the other guys. He is very sensitive to criticism. He has a poor credit score. He places a high value on his physical appearance if he has nothing else going on for himself. My advice: do not date a male who is down on his luck. He is already incapable of love, so you can't get that out of him. Sex is a reward for males. You do not reward males for failure, and do not bring children into an already corrupt world that you cannot save them from. Learn to love and pour into yourself. So that was chapter 4, The Destitute Man. Um, yeah, I can see why people read this straight through. It's really good. It is description based. I am just gonna end this video. I've learned with content, the shorter the better, and then it creates more content if you just end the video instead of keep going. So we ain't gonna put 4 and 5 together, even though they're short. I'm gonna go and get out of here. I might read one more and then I'm gonna lay it on down. I'm getting kind of sleepy. Peace and power, and I'm out.